Okay. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Blessed and highly favored. How are you, Gary?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so glad that we met. Hey, the question that I have that I wanted to ask you is that I know you've made a lot of money, and I know you're making a lot of money now. And why would you want to put together an open school like for everybody, regardless of MLM, regardless of business? Why would you do such a thing? I mean, what's the purpose of that? I can't figure that out.
Well, in one of the books that I read that my mentor told me to read called Think and Grow Rich, there's a concept in there that a lot of people hear, but they just don't grab. And that is if the person that helps the most people get what they want out of life gets what they want out of life. I'm a new grandpa for the first time, and I'm right now focused 100% on my legacy. I started hanging around people, Gary, that give $100 million a year away to charity. And all of a sudden, what they do is when you hang around people like that, you become who you hang around. It made me up my game. It really made me up my game. And I thought, golly, everyone's constantly reaching out to me saying, Robert, can you show me how you did what you did? I want to be one of your millionaires. Can you please mentor me? Please mentor me. And so thank God I ran into Bill Ebert and we started building this over 3 years ago. I have no idea how much money I have put into it. And we just dedicated the last 3 years to putting this mentorship program together so people can get in and learn at no cost until they learn the skills, feel comfortable with the skills, so then they can go out and start building any company they want.
Wow, that's amazing. I see a lot of people in different businesses, and that could be insurance people, or financial planners, or a chiropractor, or a realtor, or an I mean, or a mortgage person, benefit from what you're teaching as far as building a client base. And
Yeah. You want
so,
to, your whole goal, no matter what you're doing, whether you're an employee for a company
yeah.
or whether you own your own company, if you don't learn to build a satisfied, loyal customer base that raves about you to the point where they are always talking and sharing with people, especially on social media, if you don't have people talking about you and happy about you that are raving fans, you're not going anywhere.
All right, so here's the question I'm dying to ask you. So you got over 1 million people following you. That's amazing. And you're such a young guy, And so how did you do it so fast?
Well, it was something that I figured out really early in the game is instead of asking people to go out and talk to people, I always ask people simply, listen, Gary, could you do me a huge personal favor? People love helping people. And I
Love it.
say, listen, who do you know that would like to, make extra money or be happier or healthier? And when I did that, it was the side door approach always made them sort of go, well, listen, what is this? And that allowed me to say, well, listen, are you interested? And they go, well, it depends on what it is. And then I would very simply share with them and say, listen, again, I'm only sending you these videos so you can feel comfortable referring me to other people. And so when I really got that honed down, then it was like everybody wants to help me. And so that's how when I started teaching other people to do this, and of course with social media, the advent of having all the training in the back office and also having videos that people can share. People today are already sharing pictures all day on the internet. They're sharing YouTube videos all day. And so, there's multi-million, if not billion-dollar companies that have been created by people simply just sharing a video or a comment or a picture. So, I'm just following along with that trend.
Yeah, just showing that. Well, having the privilege of meeting Bill Ebert, I mean, here's a guy that, my gosh, in 6 months, he builds a company, sells it for $10 million. I mean, how did you guys hook up? And what a phenomenal trainer and teacher this guy is. But how did you guys hook up?
Well, Bill, it's amazing. I'll let Bill answer the question too, but the thing that I just shared with you, if people would learn to ask for help, which is a key to my success, and ask people to do you a huge favor. So I met a gentleman online, believe it or not, and I was looking for someone to help me build a back office. I didn't really know what it looked like at that time, Gary. And this gentleman immediately said, well, listen, I can do parts of it, but you need to meet this other person. And so what I did is I met him, and he was really good with graphics and stuff like that. Well, then all of a sudden, when he realized what I really wanted this to be, a back office that would, monitor millions and millions of people, he then introduced me to Bill Ebert. And I found out right away that, you always got these people that are good and then people that they resource out to that are awesome. That was Bill Ebert. And so right away when Bill Ebert got involved and he started just doing parts of it, and I reached out to Bill and I said, Bill, listen, what could I do? What could I do or say? And also, most importantly, pay. What could I do, say, or pay to get you to do this with me? And I shared my vision with him, and it was an immediate match. I mean, this man has such a heart for God and people that, his goal was to go out there and educate people and really inspire them and motivate them to be successful too. So it was just an immediate match for it's like we've known each other our whole life. I consider Bill Ebert without a doubt not only a co-founder, but, one of my dear best friends.
Wow, wow. So, Bill, let me ask you this. There's two things there's three questions I have. Number one, you met Robert. What was your impression when you first met him? I mean, what went through your mind and your heart when you guys first hooked up?
Well, when I first met Robert, he was a long list of clients, businesses, and opportunities because I'm a professional, been in this business for a long time, and I had a lot of things on my plate. And when I met Robert, initially he was just another client. He was just another guy doing a network marketing program and wanted to start training people. But the more he talked, and you can tell already, the man has such a heart for human beings, and it matched so closely to what I believed about mentoring human beings and about training them and helping them find their destiny and helping them find divinity in their life, that it was such an immediate connection that within a very short amount of time, I threw all my other clients away, I threw all my other personal projects away, and decided this is it. I mean, me and Robert are going to build this thing because it's just a perfect combination. I mean, the relationship and the strengths and weaknesses, we're just the perfect fit as partners. So I couldn't help but dedicate 100% to this thing.
I felt the same way, and I was shocked when I met Robert. I was out recruiting for big fish for my business, so I said, why not go to the top guys? Because sometimes they're never happy. You never know when somebody messes with their comp plan or changes something in the company or they're selling it or taking it public. So you're always fine timing. Bill, that compensation plan that you designed, who designed that? That is the most brilliant compensation plan. Understanding that what got my attention was the fact that people could make money their first day. They can make it right now. Most of these times, people have to be in the business 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get any type of residual income going that could help them financially. And I'm talking about securing their financial future. People need money right now. Who came up with it? It's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. And I write these comp plans, so I'm with you. Okay.
I did the same thing. For years, I helped other companies. I consulted them. They paid me huge sums of money to do the math behind the comp plan to make sure that the company would make money and the individuals would make money. And because I wasn't the owner of the company, I couldn't really decide what was best until we did this one. And we had a couple things in mind. First of all, we didn't want it to be MLM. We didn't want it to go back to MLM because we didn't want to compete with the profession. We didn't want to compete in the industry. So we made it an affiliate marketing program, and we front-loaded it so that the person, the average guy, because that's who we're after. We're not after the big fish. No. He's going to come in and see the benefit of it. But if we don't get that other 97% to start making money right away, we're never going to reach our goal of 1 million users. So we front-loaded it super heavy so that a guy with just a couple sales, and anybody can do that, with just a couple sales, he's in profit. And then from then on with the bonuses, the pros can really make some serious income. So, just me and Robert have seen everything. We've been in this business for such a long time. We've seen every single comp plan available. And you either have to pay it up front or you pay it long-term. If you pay it long-term, then it's only good for the big fish, and 97% of people fail. If you pay it in the front, then there's nothing for the long term. So it's just a perfect balance of both.
Yeah, it's a brilliant plan.
And if I could add something to that, Gary, the comp plan really came from us sort of working things backwards. You know what I mean? Because Bill and I understood compensation plans, and I still got to give Bill all the credit, I just shared with him what I felt was missing, not just in the network marketing industry, but the whole home business thing together. And when I looked at affiliate marketing or anything that did with affiliate marketing, you've heard Amazon did $77 billion last year. They're an affiliate company. But if you look at the bottom of Citibank or Walmart or Time Warner, all of them got this little thing now on the bottom that says affiliate program. The problem with the affiliate program is twofold. One, there's no residual, absolutely none. You sell the product one time and you get it. And then what if you figure this out, which a lot of people do? So if you could figure out how to generate a full-time income, now if I take the time, Gary, to teach you how I did that, there's no compensation for me. Yeah. And so, there's the problems with the affiliate side. On the network marketing side, they always put together what I would call a number of these things that people just would not accomplish. If anyone's done any study on any network marketing company whatsoever, they always say that less than 3 people, an average person will sponsor and recruit less than 3 people. So where are their breaking points? Get 3 and yours is free. When you get 3, then you hit this grandiose position and start getting, bonuses below. But they always want you to try to get 3. Why? Because most people don't. And so we thought, well, instead of 3 and free, if average people get over 2, let's let them get 2 and free. And again, it came from the mentality that me and Bill were more interested in helping people succeed than trying to figure out how to make money. We want this to be long term. We want to pass this down to our children's children's children. And so the second one then, and network marketing is then, well, great, what are you going to get paid for teaching somebody how to do this? And again, an average person is not going to build a group over 10 people. They're just not. So if you could show a person not only how to be able to get a check right away, which our comp plan does, and then break even immediately, now they're going to stay in long enough to finally hit profit. And so when they get other people in and they start getting checks, then all of a sudden everybody gets excited, and that's really, really, really the key. So we wanted to go out there and help people do that and really become successful. So we're so blessed to have you as a part of our company, without a doubt.
Some of the thinking, there's 2 thoughts. One, you guys have your kids. I mean, we're your first kids. I mean, you mentored them right away, and here, my gosh, they both made over $2,500 the first month. One of them made $4,500, and they didn't even want to pick up the telephone. I mean, kids aren't going to pick up the telephone and call anybody, unless it's their boyfriend or girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
And here you guys.
Like Bill and I and you, Gary, we both learned old school, and I'm never ever going to say anything negative about old school, because old school not only works, but old school is also effective. But I tell people all the time, and I hope your watchers don't get mad at this, but I used to be able to go out in the streets for a couple hours a day to get people to give me their name and number, because we didn't have cell phones or email. And I had to set times while I was talking to a complete stranger and ask them to give me a time to call them back at their home. It was called a landline. and yeah. And it's funny, and that's why I had to do it that way. So I taught my oldest son, Robert Hollis Jr., how to do old school. And believe it or not, we still built, I think we put in like 612 people in the company in our first 60 days, and we went to a website that at that time was called what was the one, Bill, that was before Facebook? I'm trying to think what it was called. What?
MySpace.
MySpace, yeah.
Yeah, and it's still out there. And what my son started doing is finding people that were in the local area, and we were building a rapport with them on MySpace and then inviting them down to meet us person to person. And of course, this is before there was YouTube or anything like that. So now when you look at social, what I wanted to do is I wanted to teach Matthew, my other son, which Bill and I also helped Hannah, is we thought, what is a social network, people? These people are like, they'll chat with each other, they'll text each other, they'll go back and forth with each other on social media, and they really don't feel the need, and I'll say this strongly, the need for that personal interaction. They don't. So you're never going to catch Hannah and Matthew feeling in their mind that they got to do eyeball to eyeball, belly button to belly button. They're like, forget it. They're not interested in any way, shape, or form meeting somebody until there's a real strong interest in knowing each other. So my son, is got thousands and thousands of friends all over the world that he's never met because they're okay with that kind of social interaction. And so you take people that are a little older, like us, Gary, and it's like, it's hard to grab onto that. Why wouldn't someone want to meet us face to face? It's like the first time that I learned to do a Google Hangout, to know that I can see you, Gary, and I can see Bill. I know you're live people, but I now mentally have conditioned myself where I feel like I'm right there talking to you. I can't reach out and, punch you in the arm or anything like that, but hey, I still feel we have a connection.
Well, I don't want any bruises anyway. So Robert, let me ask you this real quick. And gosh, this is incredible. But we just met, and you invited me to partner with you guys in this venture, and you even helped me put out a whole website under my own brand. I mean, that was incredible what you did for me. But why? Why did you do that? I mean, I'm still shocked. My wife's shocked. She goes, this guy who mentored 44 millionaires, and thank you God. And Robert comes into our life.
Well, Gary, we looked at you from day one when Bill and I talked about you, and you and I were going back and forth. I think that our first connection was LinkedIn, and
Right.
and you and I started going back and forth. Just like Bill and I, we immediately felt your heart for people. We knew that you were successful in the past because you truly care for your people. So when you got somebody that wants the people that they meet within their organization to get results very quickly, we want to help them get results so they can be happy and confident and build their faith and their potential and belief that they can do this. And we want them out. We want them out of their current jobs, and we want them to fulfill their dreams and buy the things that they want to for the people that they love, and go to places they've never been to. It was immediately, Gary, when I was going back and forth with you, I could tell by your language, even though we started out just chatting, I could tell immediately by your language that you were basically always asking questions about what you could do to help other people. And so I didn't want to think that in my mind that, it was just me. So, I'll let Bill comment on this because I immediately, I know it probably felt this way, Gary, but I immediately needed you to talk to Bill. I wanted to know if Bill felt the same way about you.
Oh, that's great.
I felt the same way. One of the things that we're really looking for is we're looking for number 45.
Yeah.
We got 45, but we actually want 100. We actually want to make 100 millionaires. And if we don't find people that are like-minded, who have the passion for caring for other people, it's the things that you said and the things that we saw that you already did that we knew that you were going to be one of those guys, that we could easily put you on the list of number 45 because you can just tell, we have the same voice, we have the same temperament, we have the same ultimate goal when it comes to human beings. And those are the kind of people we want to immediately spend as much time as we possibly can, get you as close as we can, help you become successful, and then we all reach our goals together.
Yeah.
And Gary, if you don't mind, I'd like to jump in here and ask you a question, because if we both felt that way about you, I mean, when you first seen us and seen what we were doing and how we wanted to go out there and really, like Steve Jobs to take his statement, make a dent in the universe, we know there's millions and millions and millions, if not billions of people out there that need our help. What did you see in us, and why did you feel what did you see in us, and what did you think that we could accomplish together? Like, why are we on this interview?
Well, several things attracted me. One of them, when I first shared with you, is I've had a vision in my heart for 10 years to mentor people and help develop leadership at a very early stage. Most companies have you prove yourself. I'm not going to come to this city or this town until you got 100 people at the meeting. And I thought that's just the wrong attitude. The right thing to do is to find people that have a strong desire to succeed, are willing to learn, and just work with them at that level and see where it takes them. So I've had this vision about having a leadership conference where a guy hits a level, let's say in any organization at the very beginning, and you have them on stage for 5-10 minutes speaking and sharing, because all you're doing is building confidence and giving them recognition. So that's been in my heart forever. And then I always vision people having an event at Monterey at Sillimer where there's no television sets, and we spent a whole weekend just mentoring one another. The millionaires take their new millionaires aside and just have a pour out your heart session, and how can we get you there, and how can we help you. So that's been a vision and dream of mine. And then the other thing that I saw, the other thing that really attracted me when I saw the comp plan is that I saw this thing globally, and that's why I kept questioning about how do we pay people in different currencies, and PayPal, I didn't even think about that, but that's the answer. PayPal does all that for us, we don't have to worry about it. And then you're not licensed, and are you licensed in all these countries? Because back in the old Amway days, remember, you had to be licensed before you could do business. Today you can do business in all these countries. There's not one country we can't do business with unless they're internet deprived, right?
Correct.
And so at this point I kept thinking, oh my gosh, when you look at residual income and you think that you can create every check you get is residual, okay? There's no transactional income here where you get paid, you wipe the board clean, you have to go out and do it again. It's all residual. So it builds. But then I saw it building internationally. And I said, oh my God, you are going to be sleeping and making money every second, every minute, every hour, every day. And we're going to help millions of people all over the world create residual incomes that they never had possible. So I said, okay, we got this mentorship. We can train the person with the least amount of experience and knowledge who never has been successful before, all of a sudden open a global, worldwide, international business through mentorship and leadership development. I thought, that is crazy. And then the other thing I have to say, you guys got on my heart because you both, I'm just going to say, you guys love the Lord, and I do, and I respect all religions in the world, but that meant a lot to me because I knew you guys had integrity and value as far as family values go. So your heart was in the right place, and mine was in the right place. So my dream has always been, and I have this dream where I start crying, and I'm watching these beautiful tuxes and these beautiful gowns go across stage as becoming millionaires. And I said, that's the gift that I know I have, and I want to give back. I want to be part of that. I always thought I had to do it by myself, and I never met anybody that would help me do it. And you guys came out of nowhere. I was trying to recruit you to my MLM. So that's what I see. I think we're going to really put 1 million people through that school. I believe in it with all my heart. I know 100 millionaires. I think are going to go way beyond that. I really do.
I do too. I do too. Well, thank you for sharing that. I just know that, my prayers each and every day is that we attract people that have a heart for people. And people really, really get that. I mean, if any one of you, and I know, Gary, you have, and Bill, you have, it's like when you get to see someone that you knew was struggling. I have a heart for single mothers, and when I take somebody that feels like they're stuck in the system. I keep running into these single women right now, without getting into politics or government or anything. They can explain to me, Gary, within detail that they're better off being on the system than going and getting a job. And they can't even make enough money going out into the workforce to have somebody else watch their children, which they want to be able to be with anyway. I mean, if I just had nothing to do but go out and take single parents, because it's just not female, but just take single parents that are stuck in the system with no way out and allow them to learn with the limited money that they have on how to do something. I love getting people in our system, and then they go out and do what we tell them, and all of a sudden they call me and they get excited and they go, oh my God, Robert, I got leads in my back office and they're asking me questions. I don't know what to do. And it's like, it's so hilarious because you're saying, well, they're interested in what you sent them. Why don't you just call up and say hello and build a relationship? Oh my God, but what if they ask me questions? Don't worry about that. You help them and tour. I tell people point, guide, and direct them. You're just a tour guide. Guide them through the 90-day system and just help them get acclimated with it. And you know as well as I do, when people start doing something and get results, they become excited. They start thinking about the possibilities, which is why all three of us are involved in this company. Is someone was able to inspire in me the possibilities that I could be something more than I am. And I still to this day tell people I'm the most average individual you've ever met that just attempted some above average things. That's all I am.
That's it. We all came out of average somewhere, some way, you know.
Yeah.
What you give to us is the hope and the confidence by small steps of success, and then getting breakthrough goals. And that's what I see the differences here. You know, everybody says, hey, you have the big dream, and it takes just as much energy to dream big, and then they get their hopes up, and then they go out and they get smashed with all these no's. And in this system, there's no fear.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor?
So,
Come on, help me. That's no fear. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Wow.
You bet. It's such a. I can't wait to do more trainings with you, Gary. Not only online but also live. I love your heart and what you stand for. And anybody that sees this video that gets a chance to work directly with you, Gary, is going to be truly, truly blessed, because if they'll just pay attention and trust your heart, knowing that you'll help them, that will help them. You know, we're going to take them to a higher place than they were before they met us. That's for sure.
Thank you very much. God bless you guys.
You bet. God bless. Bye-bye.